Welcome to Daily Office Devotions, where every Monday through Friday we explore that day's scripture readings as given in the Book of Common Prayer. I'm Reggie Kidd. Thanks for joining me this Monday in the third week after Epiphany, in year 2 of the Daily Office readings. Now, the main point in what we are saying is this: we have such a high priest, one who is seated at the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens. A minister. The Greek is liturgos, or quite literally a liturgist, a worship leader in the sanctuary and the true tent that the Lord and not any mortal has set up. Hebrews chapter 8, verses 1 through 2. Now, the main point in what we are saying is this: nowhere else is the Bible quite as clear as this, is it? I believe there's one thought to ponder from today's readings. We have such a priest. We have a high priest, a minister, liturgist, worship leader in the sanctuary. What does that mean? Well, negatively, it means we do not have to figure our life out on our own. We do not have to climb a stairway to heaven for access to God. We do not have to attain competency to negotiate our own soul's standing with God. Positively, it means, ranging over today's passages in no particular order, it is necessary for this priest also to have something to offer. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 3. A pressing reality for us humans, every one of us, is that there is guilt for things done that shouldn't have been done and for things not done that should have been done. There's also a shame over a nagging sense of unworthiness or defilement or unlovability. This guilt and this shame our high priest, Jesus Christ, took into himself on the cross. There he absorbed them and disposed of them, winning for us absolution and release. By Jesus' priesthood, we, 1, are freed in conscience, 2, made worthy to stand before God, 3, cleansed from sin, and 4, counted altogether lovable. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 12. Not like the covenant that I made with their ancestors, this is the covenant that I will make. I will put my laws in their minds and write them on their hearts. Hebrews chapter 8, verses 9 and 10. There is a waywardness of the human heart that can only be fixed by Jesus doing an internal work, by his indwelling presence. Our liturgist from on high plants his laws in our minds and inscribes them on our hearts. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 10. And King Melchizedek of Salem brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God Most High. Genesis chapter 14, verse 18. Reading Genesis chapter 14 typologically, that is, as an anticipation of Christ, as does the writer to the Hebrews. Our Melchizedekian priest brings us bread and wine from God's holy altar. Genesis chapter 14, verse 18, and Hebrews chapter 13, verse 10. Blesses us in the name of God. Genesis chapter 14, verses 19 through 20, and Hebrews chapter 2, verse 12. And receives the offering of our lips and our lives. Genesis chapter 14, verse 20c, and Hebrews chapter 13, verses 15 through 16. Jesus said to him, "Go, your son will live." The man believed the word that Jesus spoke to him and started on his way. As he was going down, his slaves met him and told him that his child was alive. And so he asked them the hour when he began to recover, and they said to him, "Yesterday at 1 in the afternoon, the fever left him." The father realized that this was the hour when Jesus had said to him, "Your son will live." And so he himself believed, along with his whole household. John chapter 4, verses 50 through 53. The healer of people's souls is not restricted by his lack of physical presence. I pray that you and I rest in who Jesus is, in what he has done, and in what he continues to do in our lives. May we know he has come down to raise us up from death to life, from guilt to pardon, and from shame to God's embrace. May we know freedom from wayward wandering, and instead the joy of responding to the inscribing of Jesus' character into our minds and hearts. May we know the ongoing blessing of his heavenly ministry to us at the table, in the word, and in our worship with our lips and our lives. Be blessed this day.